Hello, myRockworld members. We are here with an exclusive interview in Munich with The Answer with Paul and Mickey. Hello, welcome to myRockworld.
Hello, myRockworld. Nice to be here.
First question, your fourth album called Horizon just been released. Please tell us something about the new release and how did the songs come together and what's different to the previous releases?
First of all, it is our fourth album, and it's different in the way that we tracked it live completely. Wanted to capture and harness that live punch that the band has, and we've tried on numerous occasions to try and capture it and feel it, but this time I think we actually got it and we harnessed that sound that, that we've achieved our goal, if you want.
Paul?
It was kind of, I think it's also the fastest record we've ever made from the beginning of the writing process to the final mixing stage. And I think that urgency lent something new to it, and we didn't, on previous releases, like say on Revival, that was maybe a year's worth of writing and production, and maybe some things we overthought. This time we just went with our first kind of feeling, and just got it down, and that's what you hear.
I think also it sounds much more fresher than the other one, than the previous one.
Yeah, we set ourselves kind of a brief at the beginning, and it was to keep it exactly very fresh, very stripped, very energetic, very direct. And
you wanted to have this kind of live sound because you're one of the really best live bands at the moment.
Yeah, and
so I think this comes over with a new record.
Our producer Toby.
This is great. Have you got an own individual favorite song on Horizon, and why?
My favorite currently is one called Concrete, because the reaction live has been amazing every night. It's a set highlight. The place just is moshing and going pretty nuts. So the kids are into that one, I think. So that's my favorite right now.
What?
Probably the title track, New Horizons, my favorite one. We've been opening up on the tour with it, and it's going down well. It's kind of, I guess it's kind of our manifesto for this campaign. It's got a little bit of everything that's good about the band, from big riffs to the. I think it's quite a unique, catchy chorus for us too. So I'm really enjoying that one.
Okay. How much songs you will play tonight from the new album?
5 or 6.
Okay, so
but
it's a big one.
Yeah, we had at the beginning of the tour we were doing about 7 or 8, and it was maybe a bit too new heavy. But we've noticed in Germany that people are really taking the new stuff really well. Of all the other European countries, they're more familiar with the new songs than the other countries, so that's a good thing.
What was the reason to continue with a new record label?
Oh, we have a new record label, a new agent, a new management. Everything changed. So.
And why?
It had just run its course, really.
Okay.
Our previous relationships were all very strong and still very. There was no bad blood of any way. It had just run its course, and we wanted to freshen up just everything about the group,
I think as well with the Revival, that record and that campaign, it was something we're maybe a little disappointed with, because we had everything set up quite nicely after AC/DC and all that exposure. This was our record to come back and capitalise on that, and I don't think it maybe got the chance it deserved. So we had to take a look at it and see who was to blame for that. And the record company weren't 100% behind it, I don't think. So it was kind of a.
This is consequent.
Yeah, it was a good thing to, to part ways and start afresh with Napalm, and it's going much better with them so far.
This is the problem today, that nobody really invests in music. We had an interview with Miss Box from Uriah Heep some weeks ago, and he said the main difference is mainly that in the 70s everybody invested in music, and nowadays nobody does. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a consequent thing.
Yeah, it is.
There's currently a revival of young bands playing and sounding very vintage, like Rival Sons, The Brew, Temperance Movement are really awesome, and sure, The Answer. Where do you see The Answer alongside such bands, and what do you think is the reason that this genre does have a comeback?
I think it's still a very vibrant and exciting, style of music, and maybe there's so much choice out there for kids now. They don't quite know where to go all the time, but another consequence of things being much more available is they find it a bit quicker, and they find Led Zeppelin and Sabbath and the Stones and Deep Purple, and there's a there's a need though for new bands that are their bands. They're not. I mean, you can still go and see Deep Purple and stuff, but it's not. It doesn't feel fresh, and it's a heritage thing. So there's a need for all those bands, and I think when we started, we were much more roots, kind of blues rock, and maybe could have been tagged with the retro label. Yeah. But something I think as we've grown as a band over 4 records, we've kind of made a not always conscious decision to move away from that a little bit, but I think we've grown, and certainly with the new record, it's it's much more, I think, modern sounding, a lot heavier as well.
You described it very well. So this brings us to a question: what were your heroes starting to play music?
The first one was AC/DC, Angus Young, of course. I heard, I think the record at the time was Blow Up Your Video. I heard that single, That's the Way I Want My Rock and Roll, and immediately got that album, and that kind of set me on the path. Then I found things like Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith.
Okay.
And I'd hear those guys talk of Zeppelin and Free and the Stones. Then I went and got that, and found I enjoyed that more than the 80s stuff. And of course, being a guitar player, I got into every guitar player you can imagine, whether it's Steve Vai or Joe Satriani, Eddie Van Halen, and going back to all the blues guys as well. So even as far as Robert Johnson. So that's kind of a lot of stuff, but
which is cool if you know the roots.
Yeah, you got to know the roots, where it's come from.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was kind of reared on Rolling Stones Who diet from my father and my family, but my own bands, I guess, would have been Soundgarden and even, I guess, Nirvana and bands like that. Growing up as kids, they were the cool bands to be into. But then, of course, you find your Led Zeppelins and your Black Sabbaths and things like that.
But you developed them later.
Pretty much, yeah. You find Billy Corgan talking about Black Sabbath, and so you go and listen to that sort of thing. So it's kind of a natural way,
Please tell us some tour bus secrets. Any funny thing from the answer that nobody knows?
Don't get into James's bunk.
Yeah, he's got a knife in there.
he carries a knife under his pillow.
We've only found one.
We have to take the knife picture.
Yeah, there's that. No, what happens in the road stays in the road firmly. We've got that etched on our vinyl.
Yeah.
What advice would you give a kid starting out to be a musician today?
Really just try and write as great songs as you can, and associate yourself with as many different parts of the music business as you can. You can't just get into just playing gigs. You also need to think a bit more business savvy about merchandising and online, social media, all that carry on. You really need to be a very skillful person these days, I think, to try and make it in the music business.
Is there any plans for a live album in future, maybe?
I'm sure, yes. Maybe over the course of this album campaign, we've been brainstorming about where and when we can do that. But yeah, I think so. I believe.
Are you recording shows already, or?
Not yet, no. But hopefully early next year, when we're going to release another bunch of dates around Europe in February, March time. So when that's confirmed, we'll probably record one of those shows.
Because a lot of bands also recorded live shows and sell it afterwards as USB stick. That is phenomenal. Ever think about it?
Of course, yes. James, our drummer's got a business plan all ready for it.
With a knife.
Yeah, with a knife.
Buy it.
But as we know, I think you played the whole world tour with, or lots of dates with most of that. Yeah. So I read it, and I saw you in Munich. It was fantastic with AC/DC. So what? Now it's 1 year or two gone, more than three. what still stands for that experience?
Well, it was, I guess, seeing them for the first time was kind of something I'll never forget. It was being a big fan and never actually seeing the band.
So it was not this kind of we have a support band, we don't speak with them or something.
Oh no, they were very very personable and very available and approachable. Especially Brian Johnson, he's exactly as you find him. It's a true reflection of how he is as a person. Yeah. The young brothers are a little bit more quiet, a bit more guarded, but as the longer we were on the tour, the more open they became, and with many good talks with them, and many good times.
What advices did they give you?
Just really, you know how hard you have to work to get to that level. Just work so hard all the time. Always better in themselves and their songs.
I saw them in the 70s when they were a support band of other bands.
Right.
So they started not on the big stages, as you know.
Yeah.
Okay. At least some last words to the fans.
Just like to say Dankeschön for hanging with us, and it's been a while, but hope everyone's enjoying the new record, and really happy to be back in Munich. Looking forward to the show tonight.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a great show.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.